Hello guys, so today we are here with the problem merge intervals, which is a medium level problem at Leetcode. So the problem is we have given an array of intervals where intervals are like 1, 3, so it means in this interval there are numbers 1, 2 and 3, and there are given some intervals in an array. So we have to merge the intervals which can cover all the intervals in the input. So like we can see in the example, the input is 1, 3, 2, 6, 8, 10, 15 and 18, and the output is 1, 6 because we can see that the interval 1, 3 and 2, 6 can be merged to 1, 6, so that every number is coming in this interval, and 8, 10 and 15, 18 are not merging, so we can write them like that. Okay. So another example like 1, 4 and 4, 5, so they can be merged to 1, 5. So firstly, we need to check that if the input is input given is sorted or not. If it's not sorted, we have to sort it so the problem become easy. Otherwise, if it is sorted, then it's okay. So what's the first approach we can think is so the brute force approach could be like that. We will check the intervals. So we will compare all the intervals with the first interval, that 1, 3, is it merging with 2, 6. So yeah, if it is merging, then we will store it in the another array, and then we are checking continuously. We are comparing every interval with the target interval, so we can do it like that. But for that, the time complexity is n log n for the sorting, and n square because we are for the comparing of the intervals, because we are checking the every interval for every target interval. So we have to optimize it. So we can optimize it like, so how we can optimize it, we will take a pair or a vector. So there we can store the first interval there, and then we should compare the next interval with it, whether it is like whether it is coming in that interval or not. So here the 2, 4 is can be merged with 1, 3, so we can write it like 1, 4. Then we will compare the 1, 4 interval with the 2, 6, and then it will be like 1, 6, then again and again, and we can. So here the problem becomes easy because all the intervals are sorted, so therefore we should not compare all the intervals with everyone, because as if at some interval they are not merging, we will know that then next intervals will not be merged with that because they are in sorted order. So that in that way we can store them like that. So the main thing is that we are comparing these both intervals, so we can store it like that, and then we will compare this with next interval, and if they are merging, we should store it in the vector, and so on. So in that way it is working, and the time complexity is n log n plus n for the worst case. So now we will code it. So now we will code it like we should take the vector of vectors. Firstly, vector of int type, and let it be the, should we name it, let it be merged intervals, so it can be clear that why we are using it. So now if we are checking the condition, that if the intervals are empty, if intervals dot size equal to 0, that means there are no intervals, so we should return the vector itself, and then we will sort the intervals so that the problem will become easy to solve. beacon and intervals dot end. Yeah, so now we will take another vector for the checking of the intervals. uh, this one, the merged intervals vector, is for storing the output, final output, and the vector we are taking right now, this is for the just for checking that, for storing the intervals whether they are merging or not. For merging purpose we are using that vector, so we can name it temp interval. Oh, sorry. And we will store the first interval in this, so we should compare the intervals with this and we can, so yeah. And now we will traversing through the intervals for auto it, sorry, for auto it intervals we will now traversing through the intervals. And now we are checking the condition that if they are merging or not, so we will checking that is less than equal to temp interval of 1. Yeah, so that condition means if we are checking, like in this example we are saying, here we are checking that if this is smaller than the than this one, and if it is, then we will merge it like that, if that condition is true. So what we can do now, we will store merge them by temp interval of 1, that is equal to maximum of it of it1, or the maximum from the temp interval of 1. Okay. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, now it's okay. Otherwise, if that condition is not true, we will just push back the temp interval into the merged interval vector. So that's like merged intervals dot push back temp interval Okay, now, and then we will update the temp interval to the next interval. Yeah, so now getting out of the for loop, for the final answer we will merge the last interval in the vector, merged intervals dot push back temp interval, yeah, right. And then we will return the vector of the merged intervals. So now we will check that it is working or not. Oh, there's a compiler error. Interval. Oh, sorry. It should be intervals. Okay. Uh, so, oh, sorry. Hmm. There's a compiler error again. So yeah, it's working for the test cases. Let me check for all the test cases and then we will submit it. So yeah, it is working. Now we will submit it. So yeah, it is working. So thank you.